What is the difference between mind and brain? The distinction between the mind and the brain has been a subject of fascination and debate for centuries, engaging philosophers, neuroscientists, psychologists, and spiritual thinkers. Understanding the difference between these two concepts requires delving into the realms of biology, psychology, and philosophy, as the line separating them is not always clear. While the terms mind and brain are often used interchangeably in casual conversation, they refer to very different aspects of human experience and existence. The brain is a tangible, physical organ that resides within the skull. It is made up of neurons, glial cells, blood vessels, and other biological structures. As the central control hub of the nervous system, the brain processes sensory information, regulates bodily functions, and generates behavior. It is an organ that can be studied through scientific methods such as neuroimaging, dissection, and electrophysiology. The brain weighs approximately 3 pounds in humans and is responsible for facilitating critical processes like breathing, movement, memory storage, and decision-making. It operates through complex chemical and electrical signals, making it the most sophisticated biological structure known to science. In contrast, the mind is more elusive and intangible. The mind is often described as the set of cognitive faculties that include consciousness, perception, thinking, emotion, and memory. Unlike the brain, the mind is not a physical structure, but rather a collection of processes that arise from the activity of the brain. It is the subjective experience of thoughts, feelings, and awareness that makes each person unique. The mind cannot be directly observed or measured, as it is not a physical entity. Instead, it is inferred through introspection, behavioral observation, and reports of subjective experiences. One way to think about the difference between the mind and the brain is through the analogy of a computer. The brain is analogous to the hardware, the physical machinery that makes the computer function. The mind, on the other hand, is like the software or programs running on that hardware. Just as software requires functioning hardware to operate, the mind depends on the brain for its processes and manifestations. However, this analogy is not perfect, as the relationship between the mind and brain is far more complex and intertwined than the relationship between software and hardware. Philosophical perspectives further illuminate the distinction between mind and brain. Dualism, a concept popularized by philosopher René Descartes, posits that the mind and brain are fundamentally different substances. According to dualists, the mind is non-physical and exists independently of the brain, though it interacts with it. This perspective aligns with many religious and spiritual views, which often regard the mind or soul as distinct from the material body. In contrast, materialists argue that the mind is entirely a product of physical processes within the brain, and there is no need to posit a separate non-physical entity. They contend that advances in neuroscience will eventually explain all aspects of the mind in terms of brain activity. Cultural and spiritual beliefs also influence how people understand the mind and brain. In many Eastern traditions, the mind is viewed as an integral part of one's being that can be trained or cultivated through practices like meditation and mindfulness. These practices emphasize the mind's ability to transcend physical limitations and achieve higher states of consciousness. Such perspectives suggest that the mind has a profound capacity for self-regulation and transformation, even though it is grounded in the physical processes of the brain. Modern psychology further complicates the distinction between mind and brain by exploring how mental states influence physical health and vice versa. For example, stress, a mental state, can lead to physical health problems like hypertension and heart disease, while exercise, a physical activity, can improve mood and cognitive function. This dynamic interplay between mental and physical states highlights the inseparable nature of the mind-brain relationship, even as it underscores their differences. In conclusion, the brain and mind represent two interconnected yet distinct aspects of human existence. The brain is the physical organ that serves as the foundation for the mind's activities, while the mind encompasses the subjective experiences, thoughts, and emotions that define individuality and consciousness. While scientific advances continue to uncover the biological basis of the mind, many questions about their relationship remain unresolved, whether viewed through the lens of science, philosophy, or spirituality. The distinction between the mind and brain remains a profound and fascinating topic that invites ongoing exploration and reflection. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos exploring fascinating topics like why we question the world around us.